Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Bench mob, they're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. You playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow.
I ain't seen from now. Bowser really.
Bench Mob Podcast. What's up, bro?
Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT. Y'all know everybody here. We're gonna get straight into it. We already saw what was happening. It's been some crazy stuff. Playoff is coming around the corner right now. We got the play-in games going on, but something that we wanted to start off, we had to talk about it. Russ put exit interview. That man was on waiting to exhale and is trying to burn everything on his way out. He has gone crazy on some like tell all. This is how I really feel, even to the point. I think even threw my man Bron and AD under the belt. You feel me? Hey, Bron and AD said Russ gonna be Russ. Russ said, there's no truth in that. So I mean, at this point, we know if you just said something about Bron like that, you're not coming back. Greg, you got the court. The ball's in your hand. I know you wanted to get some stuff off your chest regarding Russell Sinsmere Westbrook.
I'll pick too much.
Yo, I don't understand. The whole thing with Russ this year is he's been so blatantly bad in front of all of our eyes. I don't know how there are still Russ stands out there that feel the need to come to his defense as if there's something to actually defend. No, everyone, people will commonly say, it's not Russ's fault. This all happened. This year went this way. It's not his fault. He's not the main problem. Okay, no one's saying he is. Well, I think what people are saying is the guy gets paid $40+ million a year and went out there and played like a guy who didn't belong in the NBA for 3/4 of the season. And I think that's a fair thing to say. It's fair for people to hold him to that standard, and for people to have critique of him when that's the kind of guy we're talking about. A guy who was a Hall of Famer, surefire. And what other Hall of Famer do you know gets away with that? Like, gets away with being that bad on that contract and basically screwing a team over. And we're going to blame, Bron and blame, Frank Vogel for him throwing balls off the side of the backboard all year long or throwing balls off the top of the backboard. He did that a couple times. It was clean shots, clean looks, threw him straight to the top of the backboard, damn near the shot clock. You would think the shot clock is the square he's aiming for, not the basket. That's how bad he was. I saw a report on Twitter the other day that they really thought that something was wrong with his eyes and his hands. They thought he had some kind of motor issue, and he was lacking motor skills, and that's why he played so bad. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who was that bad this year, and he's a guy that is beloved, has fans that he'll have forever because of the years he gave him in OKC and even last year with the Wizards, where really he played bad then too, but he had a bunch of triple doubles because he plays really hard. That's what we're talking about. Like, Russ has been bad for a long time. He's about to be on his 5th team in 5 years, in as many years. Yo, and in real life, if you work for 7 companies in 7 years, you either ass at your job or you're the greatest thing ever. There's no in between.
When it comes to Russ, something that you just said, though, right? This has been Russ for a minute.
It's been him.
Not saying, hear me out. Not saying his play by any figment of the imagination was justified and was not on him. Only thing I'm gonna throw out there though is just like, we know this is Russ. This has been Russ.
I know.
Why in any world did we want him in LA? In what world did they think it would work? Even if Bron and AD really said Russ be Russ, Russ that we know from OKC.
Let's talk about this. Okay,
Russ that we know from OKC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Y'all
Let's
said
talk
that.
about this.
Y'all said that in jest anyway.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Bron team.
Mm-hmm.
We know we're gonna point out the facts. Russ has never been a shooter. Russ has never been consistent regarding not turning the ball over, the decision making, and he's really built to be the person that has the ball in his hands 90% of the time.
Let's talk about this.
Russ be Russ.
Mm-hmm.
You have Bron on your team. There was never going to be a time where Russ would be Russ.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing where I agree with Greg, which is very sickening seeing, this man threw everybody under the bus and every reason out there talking about he feels he didn't get a fair shot.
Well,
I don't think that's what I'm saying.
hold
That's the thing
himself
that's
accountable.
the thing that's scary. That's the thing that's
My
scary.
head hurts, bro. It makes my head hurt so
That's
bad.
the thing that's scary. Hearing what he said, and one of the things that where I've always been a stand of like, oh, he just plays hard. That's how he get his stats. When this man said, I don't know if y'all heard it, he said they asked him about how he felt about how he played this season, right? And he said he felt like he didn't play up to his standards because he doesn't care about what nobody else thinks, which we know obviously is false.
It's not true, clearly. Westbrick.
He plays only up to his standards, and by his standards, he mentioned this. The last 3-4 years, I averaged a triple-double. So this year, me not having a triple-double. So I'm like, I can't, when people say that he's stat chasing and you say something like that,
Clearly he was.
you feel me? I can't defend that no more. That's what your standard is? Because you didn't average a triple-double?
Not the wins, not the losses, not the championships, not the playoff runs. None of that stuff matters. Not making the winning play. It's about stats and accumulating as many stats as possible so that way he can get as much money as he needs, as he wants, and he can get the notoriety, the Hall of Fame bid, all that. It's always been about him. He's incredibly selfish, and he's a guy who surrounds himself with people who never tell him no. People who never say, yo, you're bugging. He doesn't have that around him. Not his brother, not his dad, maybe not even his, I don't know. Your mom usually checks you and that kind of stuff. That's the reality. That's the way it usually works. I don't know if I can't say that, but it just seems like the guy is a very hard-headed individual, which he obviously is.
I mean, most stars are, though.
But no. But this is different. This is
I'm
like
just saying.
His head made out of vibranium. It's a different type of hard head. Like it's different. It's different. And it's so funny. He said that, him and Vogel had issues. He's like, I don't know what Vogel's problem was with me. Vogel was the only reason you didn't get benched was Vogel. Vogel seemed to hold out hope that this guy would figure it out late in the season like he did last year. Because like I said, last year he was horrible. Last year he was not good most of the year.
Vogel was kind of, his hand was forcing that because there was reports at one point he wanted to bench
But he
Russ.
should have. The smart basketball mind.
I agree.
You benched that guy. That guy was horrible.
I agree.
He was a cancer to your team
This
the
is
whole
what,
year.
This is what I'm saying, though. That's the thing that he could be referencing, which, again, whatever, cool. You think Vogel wasn't rocking with you. Vogel, for the most part, was his biggest ally. The thing is, to the point where Vogel's like, yo, we need to win some games. You're literally preventing me from winning games. The front office was like, nah, you can't bench him. This is where
How do
it's
you justify benching somebody who's making as much money and
Turn on the tape. Turn on the tape.
Yeah, I know.
Turn on the tape.
I know.
Okay, there's a million reasons I can show you. When we're done.
But when you look past those top three guys, this Lakers roster was awful.
I would have rather played Malik at point guard and live with his mistakes than played Russell Westbrook. He was that bad. Yo, Miles, I came on this podcast a couple times and I told you I didn't think he was an NBA player anymore. That's how bad he was. I saw dude throw the ball off the top of the backboard numerous times. There are 13-year-olds, there are 12-year-olds, there are 10-year-olds I coach that will draw iron on every shot. Russ was not doing that, bro. Wide open shots, just throwing them, just sailing them junks. You would think someone in the crowd was holding the rim and he was aiming at that instead. That's how bad he was. And it's not like I'm cracking jokes. Nah, he was really that bad. He did not turn it on and play at a respectable level till
it didn't matter.
Right after the like halfway behind the All-Star break is when he kind of made that transition.
Really
it didn't matter.
3 or 4 weeks.
Come on, son.
It didn't matter.
What are we talking about?
It didn't matter.
But here's what blows my mind. If he had been Russ that he was last year and the year before that all year long, the Lakers wouldn't have been as messy. I mean, they wouldn't have been very good, but it wouldn't have been as messy. They would have been in the play-in game at the least if he had been that guy. And you know what's crazy? I'm on my soapbox right now. I saw something going around on Twitter circulating that he had the most amount of rebounds, most amount of assists, played the most
He
games.
was top
in the
three.
Lakers,
He was top three in every
category, right? And people are like, how can this man be the guy you guys are calling bad? Yo,
You can't just look at those stats.
Miles,
But
don't
think about this too.
Don't talk to me about basketball if you're looking at stats by itself. Don't talk to me about it.
In common sense, AD was out 60% of the year. You know he's not number one in rebounding or second in rebounding with AD out.
Missed like 25
They
games,
played
so of
Wendy and
course.
Gabriel all year.
Like, bro, come on. Like, them stats is definitely skewed. AD didn't play.
That was definitely like a Stat Muse post, probably.
It was. I think it was like a Legion of Hoops or something. I saw it. Legion of Hoops. I saw it.
They did their job. They did their job of getting people
riled up.
People riled up.
But they knew the Russ stands would take it and run with it, and they wouldn't. The game film didn't matter anymore because people don't actually watch basketball. Basketball fans don't watch basketball. If you watch basketball, you can't, unequivocally tell me that man was not a horrendous basketball player for most of the year.
I don't think we do a good job enough as, well, general public, because those that actually know basketball, know sports, know that you can't just look at stats.
No.
You have to, it's a accumulation of stats in the film. Is really like that. Like, you got to be able to have a nice balance of both. Like,
Yep.
For example, I can't think his name, but there's players they talk about in the draft that are wide receivers, and they're putting them lower on the draft board, but they have a quarterback to throw to them.
Remember this conversation we talked about Daniel Jones, by the way. Just remember this conversation. I be trying to tell y'all the same thing. I'm just saying, just remember this conversation, because you want to say this now when it's convenient, but then when I try to talk about Daniel Jones, all of a sudden the film don't matter. Now all y'all look at the stats.
Quick, get to your point before we start talking football.
I'm just saying. Just remember that.
But I think that's what happens, and pretty much and across the board, we do this as a people. We gonna get the information that back us up. People will find a stat or a clip to be like, Russ played good this year. It wasn't just on Russ. It's scary. It's like legit a concerned, scary level of how he did not take accountability in his exit interview.
Come on. This is third grade stuff. He was a child. He was petulant. That's the word. He was petulant up there. He was a child up there talking and blaming everybody else. Went on a tour, blaming everybody in the organization besides himself. And saying that, they said let Russ be Russ, but we all know that wasn't true. What exactly? Who are you, Russ? Like, what exactly? Like, who is Russell Westbrook? Who are you? Are you Russell Westbrook or Russell Westbrick? Because the Westbrick sounds a lot more accurate than Westbrook. It just does. Let's just be honest. The name is accurate.
He's gonna come through that window.
Yeah, he's gonna come through the window and jump through here and throw a basketball on my head. You think he's shooting at the Staples? The ball got here somehow. Like, it's a joke to me. Like, give me a break, bro. Like, I got kids on my AAU team right now that take more accountability for their BS than he does. How is that even possible?
Yo,
it's like an arrogance, though.
It is an arrogance.
The fact that arrogance. One of the things he said was like, I shouldn't every year have to keep proving myself.
What?
Yes, you should.
When
you
you
haven't won a championship yet. You haven't made it. You made it to the finals when you had KD and Harden. Ever since then, you haven't made it past.
Bro,
I just find it funny too. Again, going back to
greatness.
which we're going to touch on it. Just how this, to me, the Russ signing period just shows how much the Lakers organization is in shambles.
And they're out of touch with
exactly
what's going on.
Because you mentioned OKC, right? Russ ain't never been cool being a number 2 guy. What did y'all think he was gonna be cool being a number 3 guy? He ain't never been cool being a 2 guy with KD. The man wanted to be the number 1.
He thought he was better than KD. He thought he was better than KD.
Of course, we saw that in how he played. But that's my point. He wasn't okay being a number 2. Why? Mitch Kupchak, Jeannie Buss. Did y'all think Rob Pelinka, Russ would come to LA and be cool being a number 3?
I don't really want to hear the LeBron thing anymore about this, by the way, because as an organization, you have the duty to veto moves that you think are stupid. That's it. And you deal with the repercussions later. If LeBron's mad at you, LeBron is mad at you. Frankly, I don't think he'd have been that mad at you if you vetoed the Russell Westbrook move. I'm sorry.
And you got a DeMar DeRozan.
And he's out there. Like, give me a break. There are other options. The Lakers have been messing up things up, and we've talked about this in the podcast before. I think I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'm sorry to all my PETA folks. I mean, they're going crazy these days, gluing themselves to floors and all that. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
So that might get us canceled. But yeah, I've talked about this. I don't know. I like the guy. These guys have been making terrible decisions in that front office for as long as I can remember. From not re-signing JaVale McGee, it started right there. That was the first bad move. The Lakers won a championship because they were great with their interior defense, getting the most blocks in the league. That was a strength in their defense. LeBron was not playing great individual defense at that point. Didn't matter, because by the time you beat LeBron or you beat whoever, KCP,
you funnel it right to them.
You funnel it right to AD, who has a 7'5" wingspan, right to JaVale McGee, who is an incredible athlete. Let's just be honest, right? He earned himself so much money and won championships with his defense in front of the rim, his rim protection, and you let that guy walk. The strength of your team, the strength of your defense, you let it walk, and then you go get a fat, slow Marc Gasol. And from the minute that happened, everything went downhill for the Lakers. So I don't want to hear about LeBron being the architect of this roster. Give me a break. LeBron has input. Yes, LeBron has input everywhere he goes. But at the end of the day, your GM makes the right decisions for the organization. LeBron has been told no before. Yes, he has. He's been told no in Cleveland before. Okay? In Cleveland, there was a clear blueprint. Surround Brown with shooters who are healthy and can be available. Period. And usually, that's a success, a recipe for success to get you to the finals. The Lakers have strayed away from that completely and surrounded them with guys who can't shoot, guys who are old, guys who are slow, guys. AD can't stay healthy. They knew the risk when they signed him. That's a risk. I still go back and say that's a risk you take because AD is that talented and you did win a championship. Fine, but and I know Antonio feels differently because people want to talk about the bubble championship, whatever.
I'm just saying something I saw on Twitter too, which I completely agree with. At one point, we was talking. We had not maybe anybody on this show, but at one point, there was the Kendrick Perkins of the world. There was people in NBA Twitter that had the nerve to put Anthony Davis' name in the same sentence with Tim Duncan.
The one year that AD did have where he was healthy and he played for the Lakers and they won a championship, it was an historically good year for a power forward.
I'm saying before he came to LA though.
Oh well, yeah.
People was having that conversation. Timmy.
Greatness because he was consistent over a long period of time.
Play and the stats, but he wasn't winning in New Orleans.
Yeah,
that was the whole reason
he also wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
My great grandfather could go play and drop 85 on losing teams. Like, it don't matter. Like, Greg talks about it all the time. Greg talks about it all the time, right? My great grandfather, yeah, because at that time it would have been people laying pipe.
It would have been car mechanics, like when Michael Jordan was playing car mechanics.
They would have been laying pipe back then. So the thing is, Greg says all the time, though. I mean, of course, if you drop 80 points is 80 points. But on losing teams and in losing efforts, it's not the same.
Don't hold the same weight.
Like don't hold the same weight. These stats, that's the thing all people think they realize. Stats are weighted differently. It's levels to it. 35 on a 17-win team is different than somebody's dropping 25 on a 62-win team.
It's much harder to play winning basketball than to play losing basketball. That's the thing. It's harder, I guess only a hooper would understand that, or someone who hoops, or someone who's been around the game and understands it. But
actually studies the game.
Yeah, but it's very difficult to play winning basketball. It's not easy to get someone to break bad habits. I can have anyone go score a lot of points. I can go, and even playing pickup, it's applicable to the average person. You don't have to be a genius to realize this. Go play pickup, take every shot you want, and go crazy. Go score a bunch of points. You're gonna lose by 10 points or whatever it is, whatever the scoring metric system is in your men's league. Go shoot as much as you want. You're gonna have great numbers. You're gonna average 30, but you're losing by 30 every game. That's very possible. But when you play basketball the right way and make the right play, that's much more difficult. That's much more difficult than anything else. And that's why it's so funny. That's why I wasn't here for Tyler Hero slander. I never was, because what he did on that winning team, putting up 30 balls and winning, that's hard to do. That's hard to do. That is not easy to win and impact the game winning wise, make the right plays, make the right decisions. There's a lot of reads you got to make in a game. So yeah, the Tim Duncan comparison was always stupid. And actually, to make us full circle, like I tend to do, greatness is something that It's proven over and over again. Russ said, why do I have to prove myself every year? That's what the great ones do. LeBron still does it. LeBron went and averaged 30 points in year 37. That's what greatness is.
The great
you prove it
ones
over and over again.
The great ones find reasons.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Because at this point,
Wash King. What do you think Wash King is?
At this point,
it's internal motivation. Wash King.
Exactly. Because at this point, if we be honest, at this point, what does Bron have left to prove?
What do you have to do?
And if Bron still is finding stuff to be like, yo, let me go prove this. Russ, come on.
You're not above it, Russell.
Well, clearly he's not thinking about a championship.
It never mattered.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It's never mattered.
He's winning at life.
Can I say this though?
He's winning at life.
He's a champion in life. Yes. Yeah. I need to have Niall Godfrey on the podcast because I know he knows basketball, but he on some dumb stuff right now on Twitter talking about going to bat for Russell Westbrook. What is that about? I need to have Niall Godfrey on the podcast where he right here with us three, and I need him to explain to me what is going through his mind. I don't get it.
Hey, we'll pull up to you. We'll pull up to the studio.
You're not pulling up to him. He's in LA or something. You're not pulling up to LA.
I'm talking about when he get back here. Obviously, we don't got no travel budget yet. I'm just talking about when he in Jersey. We ain't on that level yet. We flying out, getting flued out to do episodes. We ain't on that level yet. But whenever you back in town, we could do it in person. Pull up to the stew, wherever you want to do it. Because I like to hear that conversation too. Let me ask y'all what y'all think about this. Shout out to David Thompson, my boy from high school. He said, Russ, especially if he comes back to the Lakers next year, right? If he comes back, he said he should go and study Bruce Brown tape and then
he's right.
Play that way. If I agree. Because if Russ played like Bruce Brown plays for the Nets, hit a three here and there, cut, floaters, layups, slash.
Good passes.
The Lakers, if he did that this season, even with an AD going up and down,
they would have been in the playoffs.
They're not even in the play-in. That's a top 16 right there.
Yeah, it is.
Top 16 right there.
Yeah.
That's
but we have to remember Russ is not basketball smart. Russ is not a smart basketball player, guys. Russ is not he's never played winning basketball in his career. It's never been a thing. Russ won games in the regular season because he played harder than anyone in NBA history. Russ is a better motor than anybody I've ever seen. And that won him games. And you combine it with the talent he has. He has natural talent. Right? I'm not going to sit here and disrespect the man. He's natural talent. He's gifted. And he played harder. But he's never been cerebral. That's never been it. Bruce is an incredibly cerebral player. Bruce reads help. Bruce knows when help is coming. Bruce knows when to drop the ball off to get to the lob guy. He knows to get to the middle of the floor.
Not only that.
He's smart.
Bruce has the desire to actually win.
Yeah, it's about winning for him.
You feel me? Like, he decided to make that sacrifice.
Saved him from Detroit.
Yeah.
That would have been a good piece for them, too. But
yeah.
Well, come on.
Because he was in Detroit.
Detroit or Brooklyn.
It was tough times for him in Detroit.
Trade,
huh?
It was a trade.
I know. I'm saying it was the best thing for him coming to play with us.
Facts.
Come win a championship.
We're like with this happening, and obviously Vogel.
You fit that one in.
Yeah, of course he does.
It's gonna be we're winning a championship, but okay.
Of course. So Vogel is out of there, and we was having this discussion too. Like, where do they go from here? Because the goal is they saying Pelinka came out, they want to coach before the draft. If I'm a coach, I'm not signing on till I see what we doing with this roster. Is Russ gone?
Russ will be gone, guys.
But I'm saying it needs to happen before I sign on.
Oh, before they'll talk about the plan.
First round pick.
Yeah, you're gonna lose it. Who cares? As a coach coming on board, that's not my issue in the I have LeBron James on my roster, so I can't worry about 2030.
My thing is, I think this is the most undesirable job in the league outside of probably Sacramento because they're just a terribly ran organization. I think this is the worst job in the league because if I'm signing on Rusting, and second thing I need to know, are y'all going to let me coach? Do not, y'all got me messed up and drunk. If you think Kurt Rambis is going to be in my coaching meetings, like this is stuff that they was going on. Kurt Rambis was going to Frank Vogel's coaching meetings. And only that could pull off with a Frank Vogel. They mentioned it in the after interview. Oh, Frank, it was nothing really wrong with Frank. We just want to, let Frank be great somewhere else. We want to have a candidate that comes in that has a strong voice. everything they said is telling us, okay, so Frank ain't have a strong voice. Okay, the rumors of players texting on the side, they was texting during games. Like, this is obviously factual.
They castrated Frank. They
Of
chopped
course.
it right off.
But my thing is,
That's what they did.
what coach is coming into that?
No, it's a bad situation.
You feel me? Like, is no coaches leaving.
But
Nick Nurse's name is going out there. Nick, if I'm Nick Nurse in any right mind, and I know Greg said money, but any right mind, we about to beat Philly. I'm going there for that
we're
headache.
going to talk about how they're going to beat Philly, by the way, and why they're going to beat Philly. Stay tuned for that conversation. It's about one very obese man. It's a very nice tale.
I don't see where they go. There's no options. Shoot, Juwan Howard even came out. Nah, I'm good. I'm staying in Michigan. I'm gonna coach Michigan. Nobody want to come there.
It's an ownership problem. Right?
Get the buses out.
But you notice that all these blue blood teams in pro sports have this problem. The Giants had it. You know, like
hopefully it's past tense.
I think so. We got some real competent people in the building now. I don't really worry about that anymore.
Are you gonna let them be competent though?
I think so. But
I mean, the Lakers. You even saw it was Phil Jackson was there. They were trying to do stuff like.
No, they won. They were winning at the time. It's fine. The Lakers had 30 years of 30 uninterrupted years of having a superstar on their roster, from Shaq to Kobe, and a couple down years to LeBron. They've been blessed in that regard because they're LA, and the staying power of being in LA has been the ultimate deodorant to how bad those guys in the front office has been for so long. The problem is now your superstar is aging, and the other superstar you got
is aging.
Well, he's just hurt all the goddamn time.
His body is aging.
So now it's like you don't have. It's like what's the saving grace? What's going to save you? You have to build a competent roster, but you guys haven't been able to do that for God knows how long. So and Pelinka's job is safe. This is a family-run business because it's a family-run business. She's taking care of family. That was Kobe's man's. Kobe died. It gutted everybody. I'm keeping Pelinka on board because for sentimental reasons, we got to have him in the building because he's tied to Kobe. He's tied to the most important Laker of all time. So we're gonna keep him. And she makes decisions like that, and that's why they are where they are. But as far as where they go with the coaching hire next, look. If someone wants the job, like a Mark Jackson, I would strongly consider it. If Nick Nurse would consider for a big bag, I'll throw the bag at him. But like you said before, you got to trade for Nick Nurse because he's in the contract. So that's a little sticky because you need to use all your assets to get rid of Russell Westbrook or Brick.
It's not worth it, though, to take the job.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know where they go from this.
Yeah, because they're almost 1 year away from blowing this whole thing up.
It got to be somebody that's desperate.
Brown could choose to sign somewhere else.
Yeah, he might leave.
That's what I'm saying. You got to.
Stuck with AD.
It's such a. If I'm desperate enough to try to get back into the league or just get my first start, I'll mess around like give me a 1 year, and let me see what Bron does after this. Bron comes back, re-up me, but this is literally if I'm, for example, Mark Jackson.
Mark wants the job.
If I'm Mark Jackson, right?
He wants the job.
He wants a job.
He wants a job.
But he wants the job.
My point being, I go into it just to be back in the league. Mark Jackson, I think we all would say, is a good coach. He actually started what became the Warriors dynasty. You go there.
It's a win-win situation. You could coach for them. If he gets fired, ESPN will definitely take him back.
Take him right back. So that's what I'm saying. Like, take a 1 year. Don't get yourself stuck in there, especially with the prospect of you not knowing Bron coming back. You do a 1 year, do the best you could do, and then see what happens next year because you don't want to be in a position of Frank, even though it'd be guaranteed money. When I'm going to sign a 3-year contract for Bron might be leaving next year, and y'all going to fire me anyway once Bron leaves.
I mean, you still get paid even if you get
fired. Yeah, of course. I'm saying
it's
a waste of time.
Long-term deal, just in case, they get scapegoated like Frank.
Well, we knew that was coming anyway. When he got a 1 year deal this year, we knew unless you win a championship, Frank wasn't coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Frank had to know that, bro. Like, you know what type of time it was. As soon as he signed the 1 year, every radio station was like, "Yeah, Frank's out. Frank's gone."
I know. I mean, the bubble championship, everything fell in place for them. So
stop saying that. Stop saying that.
It fell into place.
Stop saying that because
you're
saying bubble championship.
Just been up and down.
Why are you saying bubble championship? Why are you putting an asterisk next to it? Like it wasn't the hardest championship we've seen.
Hold
the team
up, as
win.
if you don't put an asterisk next to the Bucks winning last year. Oh, if KD
KD's
didn't have
foot.
size 17,
It's not
We
even
would've-
about. It's not
we
even
would've
about
waxed
KD.
them.
You know, what's so funny. Y'all make a joke about KD. We lost that series because Giannis took Kyrie out on purpose. We were in control of that series. The Bucks can't hang with us. Watch. You know what? Don't get off topic. Championship in 2020, and they did it under incredibly difficult situations. While Pandemic P was in his room having mental health issues.
so what? Is
The-
it a
The
Sure,
no.
sure, sure.
While he
Don't-
was in his room,
Why he put the air?
while he was in his room having mental health issues, LeBron and them were focused on the task at hand.
He put
And won
air quotes
championship.
around mental health.
Because he's not. Because Pete lying, bro. Yo,
Yo.
Paul George, bro. Paul George was scary,
I do not co-sign the air quotes on that.
bro. Yo, you know how many people said it was mental health issues they were having during that time? I look. First of all, I believe that there's truth to that. There's a layer of truth. I'm not saying Paul George is lying. I'm joking. But yeah, but it's very convenient for you to say that after playing like trash and losing a series you shouldn't have lost. You know, and there's a lot of guys that did that. Okay, so I don't want to hear it. Everybody was dealing with the same circumstances. Some guys handled it better than others, and that was the Lakers. And the Lakers did it under extremely difficult circumstances. Hell, Kyrie didn't even want to be there. Kyrie chose to be a freedom fighter for half the time.
He was at Western Orange High playing pickup football.
Right. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's an incredibly difficult situation. LeBron locked in. Those boys locked in and got a job done that no one, and under circumstances that no one's ever done it under. So that is not. If it's anything, it's an asterisk in the other way. Like, it's a more impressive championship. Give me a break. LeBron got 2 chips that count for 4.
So no fans. They were pumping crowd noise in there. That
So-
doesn't sound.
So everybody had the same advantage. Everyone had the same advantage. All right. Some teams didn't even make it to the bubble. Some teams didn't even get there.
What's happened since then? We haven't seen.
What?
We haven't seen anything from this team.
From what, the Lakers?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I just explained it so eloquently earlier in the show. They went and signed Marc Gasol, got rid of JaVale McGee. They started to do stupid stuff with the roster construction, and here we are.
That is what it is concerning the Lakers. It's more than likely ain't no championship coming there anytime soon, and Bron is out. That's really boils down. Mark Jackson gets the job. Hopefully he does well.
He seems like the person that makes the most sense now that we talk about it.
I mean, he's the only person that's really an option.
I don't really know what else you're going to do.
There's no other names that come up that has that type of cachet and players that will respect. And LeBron already said it. LeBron put it out there. I mean, that's going to happen. Who you going to get? Who's out there?
Phil Jackson's still alive.
That's not even the move.
Anywho, so the East on the East in the playoffs. I'm not talking about Phil. Phil lost a step when he went to New York doing that nonsense over there in the Knicks.
Philip?
Phil,
He's not allowed in New York now.
first round we got Miami.
He dropped
Obviously,
to Frank Ntilikina.
And then got fired a week later.
Bro, he cursed y'all with Frank Ntilikina. 4 years of that.
All right, what were you saying?
4
Miami.
years of Frank Ntilikina. Don't they call him the French Prince?
Miami, possibly matching up with. So they're either gonna get matched up with
Oh my god.
the Hawks, who just won, or the Cavs. Any of these teams, a good matchup to give Miami a problem. Where we seeing Miami definitely.
Miami's the luckiest team in NBA history.
Right,
they
they have to
dodged
face-
us and they go face these guys. Oh my god. Look how lucky they are.
What's your prediction? Sweep first round.
Sweeper
No
gentleman.
matter what it is.
Super gentleman sweep. If it's
It's
Atlanta, right?
4-1 if Atlanta makes it. It's a sweep. If
It's
Cleveland-
Atlanta.
Cleveland would
It's
sweep?
Atlanta or Cleveland. Cleveland's getting swept.
Yeah,
Cleveland's getting swept.
maybe.
I think
It's
watching.
still a game, bro.
I think watching the playing
Still a
game.
with the crib.
I think watching the playing game, right? That showed me you might bring Colin Sexton back.
Why? Why was that that was the answer in that game?
They needed more buckets. DG was doing his thing.
Oh, bring him back next year.
Yeah.
Like you
For
said,
more
He
buckets.
was one saying he needed a new home, a new location.
But I'm saying watching last night, DG ain't really getting no help. Karis LeVert, and this has been his career the whole time. Karis
Been
LeVert banged up,
That's the
but
story.
is at any point he might give you 25, and then the next game it might be 16, 17. So that's the thing. And I'm like, if you have another scoring option, it might make it easier because they went to the game. Brooklyn, y'all went to the game. Y'all knew it was DG was gonna get his thing. He's been getting specifically playing against the Nets. He's been getting his buckets all season. It was stop the other people, the Karis LeVert, and Karis LeVert struggled. And you know that Josh Okoro, go shoot that three, please. Y'all was literally turning around, walking on the other side where everybody else was shooting. So if there was another scorer there, it might have made it gives DG some help. That's all I'm saying. Like
I'll say this about Cleveland. I tell you this about. I actually said this about Cleveland. I'll say this about the Grizzlies and all these teams that are surprise good teams. The regular season is just different. Like it's not a good barometer of what's going to happen in the playoffs when these teams that are led by superstars, all-time great players, lock in and get in playoff mode. There is such a thing. And when you do that and you're focused on your keys defensively, like the way the Nets were, the Nets didn't look like the same defensive team last night. I told y'all that off air. It changes. The level of intensity changes. When you're a young team, they can take advantage of that. So, yeah, Miami will get any of those two teams out of there. Trae Young is a superstar, bona fide. He can win you a game in a series.
That's what I'm saying. I think Trae could get you. Trae get you one.
Trae win you a game.
In Atlanta, he'll get one. Or Miami, knowing them being up and down. I can see a situation. Hawks win game one, and then Miami locks back in. Pat Riley comes in the locker room like, "Hey, heat culture."
Or Udonis Haslam punches Jimmy Butler in the face. Whatever happens first.
And they'll be out of that first round. You already mentioned Celtics Nets. What's the prediction on this one? Who in this series, right? What do you think is the X factor, the biggest matchup?
I mean, you could say Ben Simmons.
I don't even think we need him in the series.
I mean, I think you do.
I think you do too.
I think you do. Defensively.
So the Nets as currently constructed were only going to win one. Weren't even going to win a series to y'all. Weren't going to win a playoff series without Ben.
I didn't say they weren't going to win a series, but
you said we need him.
No, I'm saying, but who's going to do Tatum?
That was a problem last year. Tatum won him a game last year. He got 50 against us last year. He's going to do that regardless of. He's going to do that. He's going to do that. Tatum is Tatum.
They're way better. They're way better defensively too.
Yeah. Okay, in the regular season, let's see. But in the regular season, I'm telling y'all, let's see it in the playoffs. Okay. It is a different animal because you got to remember, they look great defensively in the regular season when other teams aren't playing great defense on the other side. You're getting stops. They're not getting stops. What about when they're getting stops too?
I don't think y'all built like that where y'all just gonna be.
We can't get stops against the Celtics, really? Because last year,
defense.
This team is the same team it was last year, by the way.
Y'all defense,
just the same makeup.
I don't think y'all defense.
Okay.
The
Nets disrespect is crazy. We already put something up on this. We're gonna put something. You bet on this. You said the Celtics in 6. That's just you being a Knicks fan. That's a stupid ass bet.
So you're saying the Nets in
6 tops.
He want to say something lower than that.
I know he do.
I think Nets can win in 5. Last year we won in 5. But with Ben coming back to the series and us trying to adjust, they might steal another game. So I would say Nets in 6. But I'm not losing any sleep in this series.
I think they get out of that round, but
get out. What's your prediction?
I'm saying Nets win.
Nets what though?
In
what?
7.
In what?
Nets in 6. I'm saying this though.
Nets in 7. You're crazy. We're going 7 with these guys, really? So who are they better than in the East? So are they better than? Are they better than?
Injuries happen.
Give me what you see. Hating ass. He's
a
hate. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Because what about
you over here?
It's the same question for everybody.
Saying Giannis was a villain last
year.
Can
I ask you guys a question? Are the Celtics better than the Sixers?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Are the Celtics better than Toronto?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Are the Celtics better than the Bucks?
Are you saying you beat all these teams? Is that what you're gonna say?
I mean, I think if we see the Sixers in a series, which I pray to God for, we would beat them in 5 games tops.
All right, next year.
Yeah, because I don't think y'all.
They're not escaping Toronto. What you're saying?
No. I'm saying based off
the Bulls, we beat the Bulls, and it'd be
based off the bracket is 1-8 up top.
I understand that.
2-7.
I don't think we can possibly see them unless it's in the
That's what I'm saying.
finals.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he's saying. Like next year, because they out of here. They out of here. Philly, Toronto. This is where it bites them big time. You traded Ben Simmons away because we got Thibault right there. He's gonna play lockup D. Thibault's not gonna be there for at least 3 games a series.
It should have been Simmons because he didn't want to be there anymore. There was no trade off where it's fair.
But that's what I'm saying.
Simmons and Thibault Anybody named Thibault is being your
I'm
savior is
saying
a problem.
this
Thibault.
is
What kind of name is that?
the reason why y'all traded him because y'all feel.
Thibault. What even is a Thibault?
Anywho, y'all
What is that?
y'all feel like y'all had somewhat the closest thing of the defensive stopper for y'all because we know Danny Green is at the back end of his career.
Danny Green is trash.
You not having Thibault when they go to Toronto. I can see Toronto winning every home game.
Toronto's gonna get him out of here.
Man, Toronto's no joke.
Who's they gonna strap James? Let's talk about James Harden because James Harden's the reason why they're gonna lose this series. It's not gonna be about no Thibault. It's gonna be about James Harden.
Nick Nurse,
James, bro.
I think is out going to coach Doc Rivers too.
Oh, he will outcoach Doc Rivers, but these days that ain't hard to do. The point is that James is gonna play like trash. I'm watching James. I'm watching this series to watch James Harden. What are you gonna do in this moment? Because this is about you. It's not about Embiid. It's not about Embiid. It's not about Doc. It's not about Thibault or whatever bull. It's about you. That's what it's about. It's about James Harden.
I agree. If we had to put percentages, James is big up there, but you can't forget Embiid in regards of he needs to be watched too and see how he performs in the playoffs because between both of them,
they both have the struggle.
They both have playoff struggles.
Yes.
Of course, Harden is higher on the list.
But who we care? But this with the narrative of the season and everything that has happened this year, him forcing his way out of Brooklyn, eating Raising Cane's to get up out of here. It's about Harden. We have to watch Harden closely because Scotty Barnes is gonna be on that ass.
Scotty Barnes is like that.
Scotty Barnes is gonna be.
Scotty Barnes is like
Pascal
that.
Siakam,
OG Anunoby. They got a nice. They got a nice.
Right.
Precious Achua coming off the bench.
They're long. They're lengthy as a team. They're gonna be a problem. And
Embiid,
James is slow and fat.
That's why.
Fred
Exactly. That's why I think too. You got to put Embiid in this conversation because Embiid should average 35 this series. The Raptors have a great. They literally will put a lineup with Fred VanVleet of everybody 6'8".
They're actually a better perimeter defensive team than they are interior. So
That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
I think
if Embiid doesn't go crazy,
the secret thing about Embiid is as big as he is and as powerful he is, he actually doesn't take enough shots at the basket as he should.
No.
If he falls in love with that jump shot, he falls in love with the finesse.
This is my point.
This is a series they're going to lose because watch. But I don't want to talk about Embiid. I want to talk about James Harden.
I'm saying this is the series where Embiid needs to channel that Shaq, where it's just like there's nobody on Toronto that is really going to be able to do anything with Embiid.
Yeah.
This man should average 30. This should be a Shaq-esque type stat line. It should be.
He's not that guy.
I know, but this is my point. If he does not do that,
but who are you
I don't want to.
I don't want to talk about Embiid after the series.
I know you're going to talk about it, so I'm gonna talk about Embiid. You're going to talk Harden. I'm saying Embiid, the whole thing about the narrative and being MVP, and it's not that the voters don't like you or anybody hates you. You, as good as he is and the stats he's putting up, could even be more dominant if, as you alluded, give me the ball in the paint and nobody.
Yeah, but you got to actually be putting up shots at close range and try to dominate at the rim, and that's not his game. He's actually secretly a very finesse guy. He's but what does this mean for Harden's career if they get bounced in the first round? What does this mean for James Harden? How do we look at James Harden if he loses the series in the first round? How is he viewed?
We'll see him in LA.
What?
I can see that. He leaving. They lose in the first round. The thing that we don't talk about,
but that's not even the question.
the thing we don't talk about. That's not
even the question.
With Harden enough either. Him and Russ are the same in regards of not taking accountability.
I was waiting for someone to finally say that.
In regards of not taking accountability.
I was waiting for someone. I was thinking the same thing, bro. He is a lot more like Russ than people think he is. He is a lot more. He's more skilled than Russ and all that. Great, and his peak is much better than Russ's peak. James is a better player all time than Russell is. Yes, but James Harden is a lot like Westbrook in a lot of ways.
Remember how he was talking when he got to Philly? It was everybody in the Nets organization but him.
Yeah.
Even the reports coming out where KD, the rift that they have is KD was like, I know you didn't show up to camp out of shape again. And the reports was
He felt like KD was being self-righteous.
Self-righteous. I thought we was going for a championship. Why? That would be a time for you to be at your tip-top, ultimate shape. We're going for a championship. And I could see where KD could be like, bro, we don't have time this year for you to rev it up. Especially KD already knew him and Kyrie like this. He knew from the summertime, hey, Kai not getting this vaccine. I'm gonna need you, Harden, to be on point. And you show up to camp out of shape.
But that's why I didn't want to hear the nonsense after the trade where it was like all these people were coming out and saying, oh, well, Harden never won a championship, so he feels like there's that pressure on him to go win a championship. That move to Philly was not about winning.
We know that.
Unpopular opinion, I don't know, but it was not about winning a championship for James Harden. That is not why he left.
Same thing with Russell.
He left to go be with his enabler. Daryl Morey will let that man do whatever he wants, and he knew that. And people in the Brooklyn Nets organization were trying to hold James Harden accountable for being a fat, and he didn't like it. And he didn't like it, so he's like, oh, no, I'm going to go back with my boy Daryl because Daryl loves me for who I am. He loves me with all my weight. You know, remember that episode of My Wife and Kids when Jay came home fat? And Michael was like, damn, like, this ain't it. But I love you anyways. But damn, you got to lose this weight because I don't actually love you. But it's like the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing. He wanted to go back to his enabler. Daryl Morey is his enabler.
They enable each other because Daryl Morey gets away with a lot of nonsense too on how he runs his teams.
If he gets bounced in round one, Daryl Morey could lose his job within a year. James Harden was the plan. He was everything for Philly. He was supposed to be the guy that led us to a championship.
As soon as he left the Philly, he left the Philly on a Tuesday. On Wednesday, they was talking about James Harden to Philly.
And they was also talking about a championship. They're talking about legacy. They were talking about all these things. They're talking spicy. There was a billboard of him when you got there. Meek Mill there.
I agree with Shaq too. It's like when people was talking about that's Kobe and stop. And be Harden.
Yeah, like give me a break.
Stop it.
No one
Bucks,
even thought.
Do we see? We already know Bucks getting out that round. Do we see the Rosen and the Levine combination possibly able to get one game out of that series?
Yes, because the Bucks are a little overrated. Yeah,
I think Bucks sweep.
I think the Bulls win one game.
I think the Bucks sweep.
I think the Bulls win one game, possibly two. DeMar, the way he's playing this year will win you a game.
I think the Bucks sweep, and I think
Levine's not really healthy.
He's not right.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I think the Bucks sweep, and I think the biggest thing that messed up the Bulls this season is Lonzo being out. Lonzo would have been the X factor. If Lonzo was healthy and they was able to play D how they was playing at the beginning of the season with Lonzo, Caruso, I think they're in a different situation with how the team is constructed now. Vooch don't play no D.
Talk about it.
DeRozan, Levine don't play lockup D really, and Levine isn't healthy.
I think tomorrow
Bucks and 4.
I think tomorrow win you a game in Chicago and the Rockets, the crowd going crazy. They haven't been in the playoffs in a while. Tomorrow when you one game in that series. I think one, but it could be a sweep. I mean, I could easily be wrong. I just think that they'll win. I just think the Bucks will fold up because the Bucks have this thing they do where Drew Holiday comes out and Chris Middleton comes out and they shoot like crap. They did a couple times against the Nets, and the Nets whooped and spanked them last year in that series. And you know it's crazy. Like, go back and watch the tape. Y'all think I'm lying? Like, I'm really not scared of that Bucks team, bro. I'm not scared of that Bucks team.
I can't wait till they match up.
I can't wait either.
I can't.
It's inevitable, by the way.
We might have
Boston. I can't wait to crush your dreams. This is the greatest thing. Brooklyn's gonna be like this is like MLK Day, like every day, beating up on Boston. Y'all don't deserve anything nice. Boston fans deserve nothing nice. Y'all don't stand for anything right. Please, even though the logo seems kind of racist. I don't know why. 4-leaf clover. What was that?
In the West, we got Phoenix. Possibly, they'll be playing either the Clippers, Pelicans, or the Spurs. Right now, currently, we got Pelicans is up by 11. I think we all believe Pelicans are going to win. So, Clippers or Pelicans against Phoenix. If you Phoenix, which one of these teams you want? I say Clippers.
Doesn't matter. I feel like they're gonna beat either team.
I wouldn't want to see the Pelicans actually. If I'm them.
That's what I'm saying. I want the Clippers. I feel the Clippers. For the Clippers, that's 4-0 sweep.
Pelicans might take a couple games from them.
That's what I'm saying.
CJ has 27 in the first half as we speak. By the way,
that's my point. I think they'll still beat Pelicans.
They would, but
it's going to be a hard fought.
They're going to earn them.
CJ going to.
CJ's
Ride
going
me
at Debo.
tonight
CJ going
for
at Debo.
old time's sake. CJ gonna go wild. Bi get healthy.
Zion come back. If Zion come back, it get crazy.
He's not coming back.
If Zion come back,
Yo,
that series could be a little interesting.
Yo.
They won't win it, but it'll be interesting. Oh my God, could you
Clippers.
imagine they bounced them, bro? Oh, that'd be so great.
Clippers. Grizzlies. They matched up with the T-Wolves. Now, they split the season series 2-2.
And John Morant only averaged 20 points against them, and D'Lo averaged like 30 against them all year. D'Lo's busting their behind. D'Lo likes the matchup. He likes to go at Ja. I told y'all the Grizzlies are overrated. Don't be surprised this series goes 7. That's all I'm going to say. I told y'all the Grizzlies overrated.
Do you still think they can get out, though?
50-50 split. I don't know. And Ant-Man is crazy. They're so young. Ant doesn't really understand the moment. He's going to go at them and play great basketball. I just feel like that he's going to be great. They don't need Cat to be great. It's Ant's team. It's not Cat's team. The Timberwolves do not belong to Cat. They belong to Anthony Edwards.
But they do need him to be great.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's the X factor. I think he's the X factor, though.
Which is crazy. Because superstars never X factors. X factors go to role players.
Superstar though?
Star players are never X factors. You don't dudes who date Jordan Woods are never X factors. Those guys are the guys. They're the factor. They're the guy.
2018 playoffs. The last time he was there, first 3 games of that series, he doesn't score double digits, and I think 2 out of those 3 games he had double-digit rebounds. I think he's an X factor. He's going to need to show up, and at least if anything, because last night his shot wasn't on. But you got to go give me 15, 16 boards, something. He didn't hit double digits in rebounds. Like, you got to still be able to impact.
He falls in love with the jump.
You got to still be.
Like AD, but
you got to be able to impact the game. Because on that other side, they big.
Who, Jaren?
No, not even Jaren. I'm talking about Steven.
Yeah.
Steven going to get you 14, 15 boards, 1 or 2 blocks. Cat better be ready because he not. And Steven gonna lock him up too. Steven gonna make it. So if he get 20, it's gonna be the hardest 20 of his life.
You know what the X factor in the series is now? I think about it. Nas Reed. Nas Reed will pull all the bigs out to 3-point line, make up the guard out there. He's a really good 3-point shooter. He's a much better player than I think he gets credit for being, and he's a Jersey dude, which I love.
Shout out to Nas Reed. I agree.
Reed is
but that tells you about Cat. That your backup is the X factor.
He's only gonna play maybe like 15.
Last night he didn't.
20.
He played big minutes and he made
Cat was in foul trouble.
Shots.
Cat fouled out like beginning of the fourth.
He might start fouling out again. We ain't know what type of time he's gonna be on, honestly. But regardless, I think this is a series that the Timberwolves can actually win. I've always said the Grizzlies are overrated. I love John Morant, but I don't trust that team. You asked me to trust Desmond Bane in big moments. You asked me to trust Zaire Williams. He plays big minutes for them. He's a kid. He's a child. He's a high school student. He's Bronny's age. Again, give me some more experience. I got Pat Bevan in the team. I like the Timberwolves to make this a real good series. 7 games.
I say 4-1.
Damn. You believe
4-1 Grizzlies, right?
He believe in the Grizzlies, don't believe in the Nets. Ain't that funny how it works? I don't know if you can trust this source, guys.
Trust this source.
This is a questionable source.
I say Grizzlies 4-2 because I don't believe in Cat stepping up. Cat's not going to step up. I don't think so, and that's going to put
D'Lo and Ant-Man. I had to watch last night, bro.
D'Lo and Ant-Man is going to step up, but the thing is, in this series, being that you got the Jaren Jacksons of the world, you got Steven Adams, you're going to need Cat to do his part.
Yeah.
So I think the guards is going to get theirs. The perimeter people are going to get theirs. I think, is probably going to be the most exciting series because they're going to get up and down the court. And then secondly, this is probably going to be this is going to definitely be the most trash talked series.
Yeah, I know, you're crazy.
Because, Dylan Brooks talk his trash.
John Morant,
Desmond Bane, D'Anthony Melton, and then you got, Pat Bev, Ant-Man talk. D'Lo going to talk here and there. Cat, for some reason, we saw be talking too. It's going to be fun in that regard. We're going to see Tech. They're going to be talking. Yeah. Somebody, it's going to be a little beef going to happen from after this series. Oh, for these two teams? Yeah. I look, this is going to be exciting in that regard. They're going to come at each other's neck. It's going to be no feelings mixed up. Once we get on this court, no love lost. Like we at war. Straight like that. And that's your guy. That's definitely your guy.
For sure. I agree with you.
Mavs, Utah.
Yeah.
Well, it
Doncic
depends
is out.
on Luca. Yeah,
Doncic is
Luka's
out.
not-
Nah, I don't think he's gonna be out the whole series though. It's a calf strain. I think
But still, it's a
They
strain.
said 4
He's
weeks.
hurt.
It's a weird injury.
He's hurt right now.
Give me
so
who they playing? Utah. I guess this will be the only reason why Utah wins the series. It won't change it. The ultimate
that's
fate,
the thing.
which is Mitchell
If
being,
Luka
being a Nick at the end of the day.
if Luka don't come
Your
back,
savior.
if-
Don't shake your head. I don't make no. It makes no sense that you wouldn't want Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks. By the way,
if
makes none.
Luka doesn't come
For the
back,
whole-
For Randall, yeah.
no, you're disrespecting this guy. Donovan Mitchell would be the best player the Knicks have had in the last 30 years.
30?
30.
You drunk, bro.
I've been a lot
No.
longer. Who's been better in the
we
last
gonna
30
No,
years?
I owe you a Heineken. I keep
Jamal
saying.
Crawford?
We're gonna have to.
Who?
We're gonna
30
have,
years?
we gonna have to look.
Carmelo?
Damn.
Yeah.
You talking about 20 years. You said 30.
Okay, so who's been better than Donovan Mitchell in Knicks history in the last, 20 years, 30 years?
We're gonna have to look at the
Pat?
roster.
Who?
Pat?
Oh, Ewing is that far back? Damn, I don't
You said 30 years.
All right,
30.
20 years, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
You never got us from this.
Pat Ewing looks like a dragon. He don't even count. Like, I don't know. Seriously, since we've been alive, because you weren't even alive with Pat, were you? You weren't alive with no Pat.
Yeah, what?
You were a child. You were just conceived.
I remember the LJ.
Larry, I
4-point
remember that.
play.
I remember that too. I remember
Come on
seeing
now.
that.
Y'all are a little bit older. All right, yo, when you post 10 years old, who's better than
All right,
Donovan
10
Mitchell?
years
in Knicks
old.
history?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna have a point there. All right, so then go get Donovan Mitchell.
I mean Mello, but yeah, I get you. I get what you're saying.
He ain't do much for y'all. What he do? He went there and got buckets, and
All right, and then if he does the same thing, what do we say then?
he's gonna try the guy to come play with him. You don't gotta. And yo, that's what I'm saying. And I think he tries harder on defense than
If
Melo.
Carmelo could do it.
He tries harder on defense than Carmelo ever did. Carmelo never played. Carmelo never even faked playing defense. At least Donovan Mitchell can fake playing some defense for you. Give me a break. There's a difference. He'll shoot some passing lanes, get some dunks, win you some ball games.
Golden State, Denver.
Thank you. Okay, whatever.
Golden
That's a
State,
good conversation
Denver.
with the Knicks fans. Go ahead.
I like the Warriors in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, they already ruled out Jamal Murray,
Mhm.
Michael Porter, so that already takes some sting out of the Nuggets. But it all depends on what's going on with Steph, because they said he's practicing this week.
Yeah.
Do you think they could
Yeah.
Can they beat Denver without Steph?
They could. It's gonna be tough though.
No.
Like you're gonna really need Jordan Poole to,
no.
put on them Under Armour and turn into Steph Curry for a series. 'Cause,
What's the prediction on it? Warriors 4-2?
yeah, Warriors 4-2. I'm not saying 7.
Warriors is 7. They get pushed to the brink by Jokic. It'll be a good series.
Big respect to Jokic.
Warriors and Jokic is
He's a 2-time
this
MVP.
year.
Put
This
some
year,
respect
what
on his
y'all
name.
ignoring is this year. Jokic has been a far better player than Steph has been.
Well, yeah, he's been a better
Oh,
player than most people.
Than everybody.
Yeah,
But
we
but
agree on
Jokic,
that.
but Jokic is gonna have a really big impact in this series. The way he gets guys involved, the way he makes guys things easier. I think when I talk about playing winning basketball, he's a king of that. He plays winning basketball. He reminds me of Braun in the way that his vision affects the game. So, yeah, man, like I could win you this series. He gonna win you 3 games in this series. The way he's playing, the way he's
I mean,
going,
the X
and they got no
factor for
answer
that.
for him. Who's the answer? Kevon Looney? Give me a break. Yeah, you're a loony if you think
Draymond's
Kevon Looney
bad.
gonna make a
Yeah,
difference.
Draymond's gonna guard him. Kevin's not gonna guard him.
What's Draymond really gonna do against him? Let's be honest.
There was a stat that came out this year, right? In matchups. I think there was 12 matchups. 1-on-1, not games. Obviously, they ain't play 12 games. 12 times he matched up 1-on-1. Not saying Draymond is going to be able to stop Jokic to the nth degree, but he did better than most. He stopped them from scoring on 4 out of those 12
So
times.
who got an easy basket on those possessions?
No, I'm saying he shot. He shot one on. He had him miss 4 times. The thing is, when it comes to Denver, I don't know about 3 games. I think they're gonna win probably 2 games. Is if the shooters are on, that's where it could get scary because Jokic is going to find them.
Mhm.
Jokic is Jokic could really average 45, but is one of the most unselfish, talented people in the league. Because he really, if he wanted, he could do what LeBron did this year. Like, you know what? Murray's not here. Porter Jr.'s not here. We'll get 50 tonight.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't playing with Russell Westbrook, so.
I mean, Aaron Gordon's the X factor for this team.
Yeah.
They signed him to all that money.
Jeff
You
Green
got to
will
step up. You can't just score 15 points.
Jeff Green get you a big game too. He'll get you a big game too. I mean, and Will Barton. Hey man, this series is gonna be really interesting. I think it'll go 7 because I'm not as crazy about the Warriors as everybody else. But Jordan Poole is, he's new to this. This is new got experience in these kind of games. Let's see how he does. And he's great. I love him though. Good player, real good player.
Stars are born in the playoffs.
Or sometimes they fizzle out like James Harden.
Well, on that cue, if you stay ready, you gotta get ready. Bitch, we out. Peace.